Buying a base model iPad right now is a complete trap. Seriously, if you're looking at the current lineup and thinking about pulling the trigger, just stop. Something wild is happening behind closed doors at Cupertino, and it completely flips the script on how Apple treats its budget hardware. For years, the entry-level iPad has felt like the forgotten sibling, getting the leftover chips, the outdated designs, and just enough scraps to keep schools buying them in bulk. But the supply chain leaks just hit a breaking point, and Apple is preparing to drop a device that honestly feels like a typo in their financial spreadsheet. We are talking about professional-grade performance packed into a frame that costs less than a pair of AirPods Max. Let's look at the actual data coming out of Asia because things are moving fast. Mark Gurman just dropped a massive bomb suggesting that Apple is planning a sudden refresh cycle that catches everyone off guard. For the longest time, the smart money was on a minor spec bump. But DigiTimes just published a report tracking TSMC's latest 3nm wafer allocations. And guess who just claimed a massive unexpected chunk of that inventory? The budget iPad line. This isn't just a casual rumor anymore. Ming-Chi Kuo is backing this up, noting that component suppliers in Taiwan are shifting their assembly lines to accommodate a massive surge in baseline tablet production. Apple isn't just making a new tablet. They're spinning up the factories for a massive global rollout. The real shocker is what's running the show inside this thing. According to a highly specific hardware manifest flagged by Mako Takara, Cupertino is skipping the expected hand-me-down processors entirely. They are putting the heavy-hitting A18 silicon directly into the baseline enclosure. Let that sink in for a second. The exact same architecture running the flagship phones is coming to a $349 tablet. Honestly, I'll believe it when I see it on stage, but the schematics do not lie. We are looking at a massive 30 to 40% leap in raw processing power compared to what's sitting on Apple Store shelves today. Why would they give us that much headroom on a budget machine? The answer is simple, and it comes down to two words: Apple Intelligence. Cupertino has a massive problem right now. Their ambitious AI ecosystem is incredibly hungry, and the current base model hardware simply cannot run it. If they want everyday users and students to actually adopt their new smarter Siri on-device text generation, and those advanced semantic photo tools, they have to give the machine the muscle to handle it. But silicon is only half the battle. Shrimp Apple Pro recently leaked an internal validation document confirming that Apple is finally killing off the insulting 4GB and 6GB RAM configurations on the entry level. This new model is jumping straight to 8GB of unified memory. That is the magic number required to run large language models locally without your tablet stuttering to a violent halt. Think about your daily driver right now. Imagine opening a dozen heavy browser tabs, rendering a quick video project, and asking an AI assistant to summarize a massive document all at once without a single frame drop. That is what this configuration unlocks. Let me ask you something down in the comments right now. Would you actually use advanced AI tools on a base iPad? Or is this just marketing fluff to get us to upgrade? I'm genuinely curious because this extra RAM completely future-proofs the device for the next 5 years, which is completely uncharacteristic for Apple. Usually, they love enforcing the Apple tax, making you pay a massive premium just to get a machine that won't feel slow in 24 months. Now, before you get too excited and think Apple suddenly turned into a charity, let's look at the catch. The ELEC just reported on the panel procurement contracts, and Ross Young confirmed that the display tech is staying exactly the same. We are keeping the familiar 11-inch liquid retina display. No tandem OLED, no mini LED, and absolutely no promotion. It's still locked at 60 Hz. It's a little disappointing, sure, but it's the exact compromise that keeps the price grounded at that aggressive $349 sweet spot. They are keeping the exact same reliable aluminum chassis, the clean flat edges, and yes, that landscape-oriented front-facing camera that finally makes Zoom calls look normal instead of awkward. It's a design that works, it's cheap to repair, and it allows Apple to dump all their money into the internal hardware. But they didn't stop at the processor. The wireless backend is getting a massive overhaul too. Deep within the regulatory filings, eagle-eyed analysts spotted references to the N1 wireless chip making its way into this enclosure. This means the baseline tablet is getting full Wi-Fi 7 compatibility. If you've upgraded your home router recently, you know this means insanely fast local data transfers and rock-solid connection stability. It's one of those hidden upgrades you don't really care about on a spec sheet, But the second you try to download a massive file or stream high bitrate media, you realize you can never go back to older standards. They are also pairing this with a much more efficient cellular modem for the data models, which works hand in hand with the efficiency cores on the A18 silicon. Even with all this extra power under the hood, the supply chain targets show that Apple is hitting their classic all-day battery life benchmark without expanding the physical size of the chassis. So what is the actual play here? If you are a hardcore creative who absolutely needs a super smooth 120Hz refresh rate, advanced multi-camera arrays, and Thunderbolt transfer speeds for massive external drives, this isn't going to replace an iPad Pro. But for 90% of people out there, this machine completely obliterates the need to buy a mid-tier tablet. It effectively bridges the gap between budget constraints and professional-grade processing capability. Apple is getting ready to drop this bomb on the market via a press release in the coming weeks. If you are anywhere near an Apple store right now, keep your wallet in your pocket. The wait is almost over, and it's going to save you a ton of cash.